James Thomas Morning Blend, the new Jewish theater presents the world premiere of the Bee Play, September 8th to the 25th. Today on our show, we have Elizabeth Savage and Miles Waddington. Elizabeth wrote the play, and Miles is going to play, I guess, the main character. Is that about right?
That's right.
Definitely. Well, let's get started first of all with Elizabeth. What is the Bee Play?
So the Bee Play, the plot is a young man, Miles, keeps bees on his rooftop in the Bronx in New York City and looks after his homebound grandma and his little sister. And he meets a woman named Devora at the farmer's market where he sells his honey because he keeps bees. And in some ways, it's their story, and it's also the story of the family.
So, Miles, tell us about your character.
Carver, if I could explain him, I would say that Carver is always thinking. He is a caring older brother. He takes care of his grandmother and his little sister. And, he only gets a few moments to himself. So when Carver does get those moments, he, is thinking about, okay, how can I, help to solve world problems? So, he's a very caring character, but he also deals with a little bit of inner conflict that I believe, kind of parallels the external conflict that he's seeing on the outside in the environment.
Almost sounds like a rookie in the NFL a little bit. That's what it sounds like. So, Elizabeth, where did this idea come from? I mean, what brought you to this point?
So it was, again, more than a decade ago. I was reading the New York Times, and tucked in the back of the front section was this article about these beekeepers in Bakersfield, California, who were in a total panic because bees were dying en masse and no one knew why. Now, not everyone knows this, but they should. 75% of everything on our plate, everything we eat, is brought to us by a pollinator. So right away, I understood why this was very, very serious. If bees are dying en masse, we're in a lot of trouble. And so after I finished reading that article, I started researching in a sort of nerdy way other things about it, and I couldn't find anything. And so now I had two problems. Not only was it clear that there was like a mass extinction underway, but also no one was talking about it. And that sort of led me down a rabbit hole of becoming really, really obsessed with bees. At that point, at no point, I mean, I wasn't going to write a play. I just wanted to figure out what was causing this extinction. And then at a certain point, I think beekeeping became legal in New York City, which I was like, it was illegal? Like, who knows? And then I started thinking about what's the kind of person who keeps bees in New York City? Who's that guy or woman? That seems like an interesting character. So in the way that who knows where ideas come from, all that different stuff was marinating. And then the idea sort of just came down all at once.
So, Miles, we know you're not a rookie NFL football player. So how did you get involved in acting?
Well, I mean, there's various levels to being a rookie, I'm not fresh out of high school, but I'm a little bit new to the professional theater game. But in St. Louis, it's a community that really takes people in. And I did one musical in April, and from that, I've gotten 3 other jobs. And so, someone saw me in the big machine at Coca, and they asked me to audition for the Bee Play. And so here I am. I'm always very grateful for that. And the community just keeps growing and growing, and now we have people from New York, you know, that are involved. So it's really humbling and definitely a blessing. But I got my start in high school, and you know, when I was a little kid, I would sing uh I would sing songs that I learned. You know, I would go to the Fox with my dad, and you know, on intermission, you know, I would start singing the songs, and then a whole bunch of people like started crowding around me, like, "Oh my gosh, this little kid is singing the songs from Oliver," you know. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's interesting, Miles. I didn't get a chance to go to the Fox Theater and plays with my dad, but in the fifth grade, I joined a boys choir in the Episcopal Church. They came recruiting, and I was part of a boys choir. Never got the lead sing, and I understand why today, but definitely. Hopefully, you'll be one of those actors eventually when you want to move from plays to the screen.
Well, yeah, I enjoy doing both. I did a short film a little bit earlier today, not today, a little earlier this year. And so I enjoy doing all of those things, kind of getting to experience and um, tell stories that are important, and you know, have truly feel something, and I hope that the audience walks away with something that they can, you know, put in their pocket for the rest of their lives.
Definitely. Now, Elizabeth, you're a playwright. Any ambitions for the big screen?
I mean, I think this would make a fantastic movie. I think, you know, there's the family, then there's the woman who enters their life, and then there's the fifth character, which is New York City, my true love. So I can see it on the big screen, yeah. You know, so hopefully someone will see the play and feel so compelled, and hopefully someday, knock on everything, it'll make its way east and come to New York City.
You know, it's interesting. We're from St. Louis, Miles, and we know there's a couple of big people in Hollywood from St. Louis. And everybody keeps bugging our friend Cedric the Entertainer to come back to St. Louis and do a movie. So maybe we can convince Cedric this is the movie he should get involved with and be executive producer on. Not be in it, but actually be executive producer.
I didn't know he was from here.
Oh, yeah. As a
Amazing.
matter of fact, what's interesting about Cedric is, and you have to love about Cedric, is the fact that he would ask to perform at nightclubs for free just to get exposure.
Wow.
And that's how you do it. I don't think today's millennials understand that. Nothing against you, Miles, but I don't think that today's millennial get it. But this is what Cedric did, and look at Cedric today. So my hats off to him. Yeah, definitely. Today we've been talking with Elizabeth Savage, who was the playwright for the B play, and Miles, who's the star from St. Louis, Missouri. And Miles, we are not going to ask that question that everybody asks when you're in St. Louis. You know what it is. We're not going to ask that one. Leave that one alone. Again, September the 8th to the 25th at the new Jewish Theater. Looking forward to being there. Thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.